This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky and I'm sitting here with Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Hello, David. Hello, Jess.
Hello, Matt. Hello, David.
Hello, Matt. Hello, Jess.
We did it.
Did we do it all? Yeah. We've all said it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Should we all touch hands?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not with the current state of world virus.
And honestly, Dave, stop asking.
Yeah, every 5 minutes. Is that too much?
Yeah.
All right, I'll back it off to every 10.
10. Every 10 is reasonable. Thank you.
Should we touch? Oh, sorry. Sorry. I forgot my new rule.
Hold. Oh, it's good to be back here in the studio once again.
Yes, I was just telling Jess before you arrived, Matt, that I'm excited for this. I was at work at my day job thinking I'm excited to pod with you guys tonight, mainly because the responsibility of reporting is not up to me this week. It is Matt Stewart.
It is.
Dave's feeling a bit loose and silly.
Yeah.
Should we hold hands? Oh,
That's different. So good job.
So, the way the show works is one of the three of us research a topic. This week it's me, and we get onto the topic with a question. I'm going to ask that question now.
Great.
As is protocol.
Okay.
What is the most expensive Broadway musical of all time?
most expensive.
The
Oh.
producers.
The Phantom of the Opera.
No, it's neither of those.
Okay.
It's not a particularly successful one.
But it's expensive.
Yes.
Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
Oh, did that make it to the stage?
Probably.
I don't think many sequels get a Broadway.
Okay, what else is on Broadway? Okay, Wicked.
Cats.
That was very popular.
That was the movie that stunk.
Yeah.
Box office wise.
What, is the Broadway show better?
Oh, yes, it was one of the most successful ones in history.
Crazy. Okay, what else is on
Yeah.
Broadway?
Well,
Clue.
the clue is it's based on a comic book.
Oh, is this the Spider-Man one?
Yes.
Oh.
Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark.
By the music by Bono.
Yes.
Oh no! Don't tell us you've done a report that's based around Bono. That has backfired once before live in Dublin.
Only, it's not all Bono.
Okay.
Is there also The Edge?
Yeah, the Edge is involved.
Thank goodness.
A little bit, but I don't talk about them all that much, to be honest. So this was suggested by Josh Sheville and James Acker. And it's been fun. It's been fun reading and watching this musical. I just did a gig around the corner and bumped into, on my way out, Meso and Bree Williams, comedian and podcasters. Yes.
Yep.
Also, one of them drives a tram.
And Bree goes, I just said the words do go on to Meso. And I said, I'm just about to go do it, do go on. And she goes, what are you doing it on? And I said, Spider-Man Into the Dark. And she said, oh my God, I saw it. And then we talked. That's why I was a little bit later than I should have been, because we the three of us talked about it for a little while.
Great.
Right, so she actually saw the production because it's famously not many people saw it. Is that why? It's expensive? Is that why?
No, that's not necessarily true. It did have quite a few come through. But anyway, I'll probably talk about it.
Probably tens of hundreds.
Really? As in over 1,000?
No, I think thousands saw it, but you were lucky because it wasn't on for forever.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands, I'd say.
Wow.
I did it.
So,
I did numbers.
Yeah, you did numbers real good.
I did it.
let me begin.
Please
let me. In August 2002, it was announced that the stage musical based on Spider-Man would be produced for Broadway after Marvel Comics approached veteran theatre producer Tony Adams to buy the stage rights. The following month, Adams and his business partner, David Garfinkel, flew to Ireland and recruited Bono and the Edge of U2 fame to write the score for the show.
2002, there were phones. Why did you have to fly?
It did sound like they were wandering the countryside until they captured the Edge and Bono in a net.
In a big sack.
Dragged them back. We got him, guys. We got him.
That's the dream.
So and kind of an interesting choice in some ways because they'd never written any musicals before.
But they had written the theme to Golden Eye.
They've always been a big band, like pretty much from when they began almost. They've been huge. But at this point, they were still super huge band, right? They were just a couple of years off their worldwide smash hit album, All That You Can't Leave Behind, which sold approximately 12 million copies. And they were about to release the equally huge worldwide #1 album, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. In short, they were a massive get for the production.
Huge get.
That was a big net.
Yeah.
Really big.
How big?
Like 2 football fields. That's how big it had
What?
to be.
That's too big for 2 men.
Yeah, I know. That's how big the Edge is.
Whoa.
Is he that big?
He's a big man. Have you ever seen him?
No.
There you go.
Never. Yeah, they can't get photos of him. That's how big he
He's
is.
so big.
I've
They haven't
seen
got a
photos
camera
of
big
his
enough.
thumb.
Yeah.
That's the most they could get.
That's like the size of a human, his thumb.
Whoa.
He's a big man.
I had no
That is
idea.
so
How does he
big.
play guitar?
No, it's
Big
got a
guitar?
Big guitar, yeah.
Cool.
That is cool.
He puts... doesn't matter.
What, Dave?
Oh, what's
What
going
does he do?
He plays his guitar 1 string at a time. I was trying to think of something like he puts his pants on 1 leg at a time, but I couldn't quite make it work.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Okay.
That would
Deconstructing
work
jokes.
better for bass player
Adam Clayton.
Adam Clayton. At the suggestion of Bono, Julie Taymor was
So who?
Bono.
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 Oh, we've got Bono. No, I said Bono. We want Bono.
Oh.
Well, then who's this in the sack?
I got
Hello, I'm
him
Bono.
Let me out, I'm Bono.
got him from Irish Aldi.
He was the Aldi equivalent. They had him in that case out the front.
At the suggestion of Bono, Julie Taymor was brought on to direct. Taymor was an acclaimed theatre director, most famously bringing the Lion King movie to the stage, winning the Tony Award for Best Direction in a Musical in 1998 for her efforts. And I believe she was the first woman to win that award.
And I think the Lion King musical, that we're talking about tens of thousands of tickets. I think that sold like over 1 million tickets.
Oh, yeah. The Lion
Huge
King
Like
is
blockbuster.
huge.
crazy
Yeah.
big.
So far, so good. Everything is bloody working.
Yeah.
They're nailing everything as they go.
We got all the best people on the job.
You've got a great producer in Tony Adams, world famous rock stars to write the music.
And like the most popular superhero character. It's
Yeah.
frequently voted the most popular, Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's right. So at this stage, it feels like it can't fail.
It's too big to fail.
Too big to fail.
The ship won't sink.
But
The sink won't ship.
Yes. I won't ship this sink. I'll ship everything but the kitchen sink. That's my motto.
For I defy cliches.
So yeah, I want to warn you that it doesn't keep going well.
Okay.
Okay, just a heads up.
But are you enjoying our fun mood though, or are you
Yes.
finding it a bit tedious?
No, I'm loving it.
Can I just confirm, does Bono live? Or do we lose
Bono
Bono?
lives.
Bono lives, yes.
That's the sequel.
Spider-Man Bono lives.
Or is it Bono Lives? I can never tell. I've only ever seen it written down. By October 2005, the key players were ready to make it all official. The creative team met with the producers at the Edge's apartment in Tribeca. That's an area of
to New York City, yeah.
to sign the contracts. Put like an American doing an Australian accent on that. The
Contracts.
I thought it was, come on down, sign the contract.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was that then.
Yeah, must have been what it was. So with the paperwork out, the Edge went into another room to fetch a pen.
Oh, no.
When he returned, producer Tony Adams had suffered a stroke.
Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh.
Before...
How long did Edge take to find a pen? I mean, his house is probably massive.
Yeah, it would be a
We
big
say apartment, it's probably got 8 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And he couldn't remember which one had the pens in it.
Yeah, so he was gone
He's
for
checking
decades.
them all.
He went to the pen room and there was no pens.
No pens. He thought, oh, my God, I have to fire my pen keeper.
Jeeves, get here.
So he died not long after,
Oh, my God.
goodness.
only 52 years of age.
And he'd never signed the contract.
didn't sign the contract.
Because Edge didn't have fucking pens ready. Nah, it probably wouldn't have
Yeah,
helped
that was a
anyway,
real
'cause he-
sliding doors moment.
It feels
away.
like maybe looking back, they probably should have seen it as a bad omen.
That's an omen. You leave the room and come back and the man is dying
yeah.
in an instant.
This is a cursed
That's
production.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So this was the first major blow to the production. Adams was the major driving force behind the production and had great theatre production experience. Jeez, I've said production 3 times in that sentence, which felt good. It felt natural. It felt right. According to an extensive article in the New York Times by Patrick Healy and Kevin Flynn, which I reference a bit, they wrote, others might have abandoned the project, but the Spider-Man team decided to go on, with Mr. Adams' partner, David Garfinkel, as lead producer. Great name, David Garfinkel.
Garfinkel.
An able entertainment lawyer. Yeah, he's the Aldi Garfunkel. An able entertainment lawyer, Mr. Garfinkel had little producing experience, and he ceded artistic decisions to Miss Tamer, a perfectionist whose aesthetic included never repeating herself. So this is Tamer from The Lion King.
And that was just something she lived by. She would never repeat herself.
Yeah.
As in, like, conversationally, or her style of
I
musicals.
think like she would never repeat any tricks or anything in her music.
It was like...
You can never say the same word twice.
I'll have a grilled cheese. Sorry, what was that? I never repeat myself. So...
You figure it out.
Surprisingly, that's the first time I've ever said that. 'Cause that is actually my ethos.
I can never order the same thing twice.
Mr. Garfinkel did not take the tack that Disney had while working with Miss Tamer on their hit musical, The Lion King. Her genius flourishes best under supervision, apparently. And in this setup, she was let to go hog wild.
Whose creativity works best under someone else's strict rules?
Yeah, no, that's interesting, isn't it? I think they're basically saying she's a genius, but she needs to be reined in by like a yin and yang sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Because otherwise she's just like, I spent $100 million on foil. You're like, no.
Do you think that's me?
Which one, the genius or the strict supervisor?
You know which one I'm asking about.
I'm not sure.
Am I the genius and you guys rein me in?
Oh.
Do I work best when you can, put boundaries on me?
I've stopped you from buying foil before.
$100 million worth.
Yeah. I nearly bankrupted the podcast 1 million times over. Yes, we are worth $100.
Thank you. So neither of you have answered there, so I'm the one who reins in, aren't I?
I'm not sure.
I don't think not every partnership has one and the other.
I think you just don't want to tell me the truth.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think it's that obvious. I would say we all have elements of both.
Do you want to be a genius?
I think we all have elements of genius, is what I just said, and I stand by it.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. Dave, do you agree?
Oh yes.
I mean, Dave genuinely would, though.
Yeah.
Dave would be like, yes, I think I'm a little bit of a genius.
Yeah.
Oh, just a little bit.
Jess and I are self-deprecating here,
Yeah.
and you're just sincerely calling yourself a genius. And this is us reining you in.
Okay.
The article goes on to quote Jeffrey Seller, a veteran Broadway producer who's never worked with Tamer directly, but he said, Disney knew to stay on top of Julie and ensure they were all working towards the same goals. It paid off royally. So he's sort of saying, he's basically saying the same thing.
Yeah.
With the creative team being let off the leash, the script got a bit out of control, and so did the sets and seemingly all other elements of
And then he morphs
pre-production.
into a monster. Yeah. And then he flies to the moon. We're going to get the real moon on stage.
In 2009, Evan Rachel Wood was cast as Mary Jane and Alan Cumming as the Green Goblin.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know
Which
anything
bit?
about this musical, to be honest.
Oh, I didn't know anything about it either.
Cool.
I had seen one famous clip from Letterman where they performed on there, but I'd forgotten about it. And I've since the last few weeks, I've been watching it a lot. It's real great. You've got to watch it. I'll put a link to it on our social media.
It's like
or whatever.
because it's great or because it's bad.
I don't know.
All right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think it's both.
Yeah, great.
I think it is great, but it's also ridiculous. But it's great.
Yeah. That's the perfect.
Is it bad? I don't know. It's great.
That is the
I'm loving
perfect
watching it.
Venn diagram.
Yeah.
It's great and it's terrible and I love it and I hate it.
And I don't know.
That's perfect.
It's making me feel everything.
Yeah, that's art, baby. Love art.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't heard of Evan Rachel Wood.
Oh, okay.
Who's she?
She's an actress.
Yeah.
An actor.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, she's done a bunch of things.
It's a great name, Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah, it's cool.
Never heard of a woman, Evan.
You'd probably know her face, I reckon. She's been in lots of things. For some reason I'm blanking and the only thing I can think of is Across the Universe.
Yes, which was directed by Tamer,
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
I think.
There you
If I
go.
made that up.
I don't know.
I think that is true.
That was a Simpsons reference. I did one. Jacob, I did one.
That means nothing to most people. That's a Patreon only thing. You've lost the audience.
No, well,
You've lost the confidence
well,
of the
that
audience.
audience can buy their way back into that joke by heading to patreon.com/DoGoOnPod.
There's a Patreon who on the Facebook Patreon group, he audits our weekly Simpsons references and puts them into a post. and rates them.
Honestly,
I
it's a
enjoy
lot
it.
of pressure on him now because he started it and now he's stuck doing it forever.
Yeah. Jacob, we release you from this.
Yeah,
We
whatever
love
you
it,
want, it's fine.
But please don't feel, if this is making you feel bad or stressed,
Yeah. But also give me that one because I don't usually
make this
beat the
at
boys.
least the last one.
Yeah. I don't usually beat the boys to a Simpsons reference. And it was a pretty weak one, but
It's like a classic.
yeah.
Classic Homer
Yeah.
going in for the... He's kind of saying he's Mr. Burns. And what's your first name, Mr. Burns?
I don't know.
So Evan Rachel Wood, Alan Cumming, two big stars. I know Alan Cumming, but yeah, they're two pretty big stars in two of the key roles. But as 2009 went on, the production found itself in debt of around $25 million.
Whoa.
And a realistic opening date for the show was nowhere in sight.
Fuck. That's
a
a lot of
lot.
$1 million.
Yeah. Okay, I think I mentioned this later, but maybe I should tell you now for perspective. A normal Broadway production costs around 5 to 15 million
Okay.
Just to set it up, get it going.
to put it on.
Yeah.
This one,
put it on. Right. They're
this
already
one
in.
they haven't even started and they're in debt 25 million.
Shit.
So it's ground to a halt and it isn't anywhere yet.
Shit.
and
That's
obviously
bad.
the only way to get the money back is to put it on and sell the
Exactly,
tickets.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
And so the tickets are now $1,000
And we still need to sell 1 million.
for the cheap seats.
It soon became clear that Garfinkel wasn't going to be able to raise the extra capital required, and he was perhaps in over his head. So in late 2009, he was replaced by concert promoter Michael Cole, who also had little Broadway background. As well, he was one, and also the man whose company made the production sets, Jeremiah J. Harris.
What?
Love
They
that.
came in to be the main backers.
Jeremiah wasn't J. Harris.
It's a great name.
I really thought you'd come in with the bass there, but okay.
I'm not sure what the reference is.
Was an old friend of mine.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Still.
Joy to the world. Oh. And also, Jeremiah J. Harris is also kind of similar to the editor from Spiderman, right? What's his name? Oh,
Oh,
no.
fuck. No, that's the second reference to it today, and now I've blanked.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Okay.
Actually, it's not too
Not that
far.
close.
Well, it's JJ.
Yep.
Just
It's
not
very,
JJJ.
very close.
I've slipped into a dimension where I don't understand anything either of you say.
So Peter Parker's character's writes for a newspaper, and the editor of that newspaper is J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah, what I said, I think.
Joey Jojo Shamadoo.
Junior Shabadoo.
That's the worst name I ever heard.
Joey Jojo.
It does sound like that the writer just thought that up.
Yeah.
But it's funny that none of these producers have had any Broadway background, but this guy, Jeremiah J. Harris, literally made theatre backgrounds. He was a set.
Does that count?
Does that count? Is that something?
That's good stuff.
Harris was quoted in the Times saying, "Michael and I took over a show that was dead, was sinking. We got pumps running in the first couple of days. We raised $30 million for the show."
Whoa.
It made it sound like he raised that in days. That can't be right? But anyway, so he's a big deal in the music world, and they got cash together pretty quickly. So we're back on track, baby. He then went on to imply Garfinkel, right?
Garfinkel.
He then went on to imply Garfinkel screwed up the show and called him a schmuck, saying, "You can quote me on this."
And we have.
We did.
Schmuck.
Schmuck.
Schmuck is so good.
And you've already taken away his
great.
musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And away from his dead partner too. I mean, come on.
He didn't have many nice things to say about Garfinkel. And if that didn't break your heart already,
no.
Garfinkel's reply,
Oh.
he said,
Oh, come on, man.
no, he said, "I'm very happy these guys came in to help the show. I don't have an ego. I just care about the show." I'm like, oh, God.
Bless you. This guy's a schmuck. Oh, I'm really glad you guys are here. Thank you so much for helping out.
Oh, please.
I just really want the show to be great.
Then he just seems like he's too gentle of a soul for the cutthroat world of Broadway musicals. Anyway, so he's out.
Is he coming back? Please tell me he comes back at the end.
No.
I really like him.
As far as I know, he sailed into space
Wow.
on a space sailboat.
That was one of the scenes in the
Never to
musical.
return. Yeah. He's like, we've already designed an actual working space sailboat. We may as well use it. The delays in production led to both Evan Rachel Wood and Alan Cumming having to quit. Alan Cumming in particular left due to his character on The Good Wife becoming a regular. And by the following year, though, when asked about leaving the production, he said, quote, "My God, that was a lucky escape. Jesus Christ, talk about dodging a bullet there."
Brutal.
He really ramped up there, didn't he?
Yeah. Exclamation marks, capital letters.
Schmucks everywhere.
Cumming was replaced by Patrick Page and Jennifer. Oh boy.
Any Jennifers out there? You are now Jonathan.
Never heard of a girl called Evan or Jonathan.
And I am Janethica.
Jennifer Damiano replaced Evan Rachel Wood. Reeve Carney ended up playing Peter Parker, and TV Carpio played Arachne.
Are we supposed to recognise these names, or is it the point that the A-listers were replaced by
I believe these are all
B-listers?
some sort of actors. But yeah, the A-listers aren't there anymore. Anyway, all of these actors had also left the production within a few years.
Within a few years, because are they presumably you're contracted and you're saying no to other jobs?
Yeah. Anyhow, Cole was very good at raising funds, but he didn't have any interest in overseeing the artistic side of the production. According to the Times, left largely to their own devices, Miss Tamor hired top dollar stars to design the sets and costumes and to choreograph the show. The costume team alone had 23 people, 4 designers, 4 shoppers, and 15 dressers. "If the show works, all the money will be a moot point," Miss Tamor said later. "If it doesn't, it'll be a tragedy."
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. She's really flying high,
Also,
hoping for the
I
best.
Yeah, it's a lot of belief, I think.
Is that a fairly brazen use of the word tragedy, too,
Yeah,
do you feel?
it is,
Like, okay. All right.
Yeah.
This is when? Early 2000s? I think we knew a thing or two about tragedy
This
by
isn't
that
a
time.
post 9/11 world, so yeah, she should know better.
She should know better than to just throw the T word around.
Yeah. Well, Broadway tragedy.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Yes, of course.
I'm sure that's what she was meaning.
Implied.
Yeah. As well as directing, Tamor also wrote the book, which in musicals is the script, basically. Or the-
And yeah.
is that right? Not the lyrics.
Not the
to
lyrics to the
songs, but all
song.
the story stuff.
Right.
She added a new character to the show, who I mentioned just before.
Speedy Moon.
Speedy Moon.
Yes.
Is
Spider-Man's
that D middle initial?
moon-based counterpart.
He's no longer a moon. He's more of a vampire now.
Buddy Speedy.
No, you're close, but it was not Speedy Moon. It was a villain named Arachne,
Arachne.
based on a character from Greek mythology with the same name.
Arachne.
Arachne, yes. Well done.
Why do you think when Spider-Man's got such a rich history of bad guys that we all know and love, would she just make up a new one?
Well, she's a genius.
Okay.
Dave, she's a genius.
She's a genius.
Okay, you're reining her in a little too much right
Yeah.
now. You gotta.
I thought they liked her to be reined in.
Yeah, but not too much. You gotta rein in just a little bit.
Don't blanket the genius.
If it was up to me,
No.
I would just lock her in a box. See how she goes.
Dave, that's no,
Literally?
That's literally.
Literally?
Yeah, literally looking
You talking about like a coffin? You gotta put her in a coffin. You gotta bury her
Art
alive.
flourishes in a stressful situation.
That is true. No, he has won me around there. Put her in a box.
Put it in a box.
Dave.
Lock it up.
It's 3 weeks to a comedy festival. Can you put me in a box?
Yeah, honestly, you'll come out the other side angry at me, but also thankful.
I'm always angry at you, but thankful for you.
Oh, thanks, Dave. That's great.
Oh, God, my back really hurts, but I've come up with some really funny jokes.
So this is Tamor explaining the Arachne decision. Tying the story back to mythology was the main thing that movies haven't done, which is something I really wanted to do. I love the Spider-Man films. The main thing they haven't done is tie it back to mythology.
I also only just got Arachne and Spider-Man.
Right.
I was like, that's weird. Now I get it. It's a spider thing.
But so she's watched the very successful films and thought, I need to do what they didn't do.
Yeah.
And the one thing they didn't do, as you just said, is have Greek mythology.
What a fun idea that in her mind, this is the main thing they didn't do.
She's comparing every film to Hercules.
Right, yeah. The main thing they did do, tie it back to Greek mythology.
Yeah, and see how great that was?
Yeah, what is it like Hercules in Manhattan or whatever that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was called?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I only did that report last week and I can't remember. I think that was right.
Anyway, her quote goes on to say, "It's something you can do in the theatre. Go into this absolutely dreamlike mythic place, out of time, between reality and the dream world. That's where I live." You can see that in everything I've done.
I live in a box in a dream world.
Oh, gosh.
She's great. Big fan. I love genius. Genius, unbridled genius is so fun.
So good.
The character complicated the show's story as there was already an arch villain in their story named the Green Goblin.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, rehearsals began in July 2010. In nearly all elements of the show, the team tried to break new ground, which is something they were all very proud of. The Edge and Bono and the rest of the team were breaking new ground. Everything. If there's an easy way that's already been done, let's make it harder.
The audience are on the stage and we'll perform in the seats.
Yeah.
No one's done it before.
I'm using a new type of guitar. It's made with knives.
Go, Edge. Beep. Fuck! Sounds great.
It's so beautiful. The emotion.
Oh, I love it.
I can feel your pain in the way that you play.
Bono's like, and I'll be Mirrorball Man.
He's painting himself silver.
Bono, just to remind you, you're not in the show. What?
What?
I'm a what?
So all this new ground that they were breaking obviously added to the expense as well as uncovering new problems.
Yeah, it's just holes. They put holes everywhere. All that ground they were
a lot of
uncovering.
digging. A lot of archaeological sites were ruined.
The one thing that I've seen in theatre that they haven't ever done was holes in the stage.
But in random spots that change every night just to add a little bit of drama for the actors.
Where they normally put an X for the actor to hit a mark, that's now a hole.
That's a hole.
And you will break your ankle.
Yeah.
Need you to hit the hole and downstage when you hear this note. Ah! That's the Edge.
Who is now known as Mirrorball Man. According to the Times, in most productions, performers fly in parallel planes. This is one of the big new things they did. So when you're talking about the acrobatic sort of stuff flying across the ceiling of the venue, most productions, performers fly in parallel lanes. You know what? You understand parallel,
So you're not going to hit each other.
Yes, like children on adjoining swings, the Times helpfully explains. But the aerialists in Spider-Man cross lines. They intersect.
Oh, God.
So they can, for example, battle in the air. One character riding on the back of another, like something from a movie or a dream.
What?
A sex dream.
Oh, yeah.
To pull this off, the producers hired 35 stagehands and the man who coordinated the flying for the Spider-Man movies. They hired 7 stage managers, where an average musical has 3 or 4. The aerialists were sent out west for training, and the back of the theatre was packed with enough computers to track travel to the moon. So they've...
Sorry, what? There's 2 things there. They were sent out west. What do you mean by that?
California, I'm guessing, Hollywood.
We sent them out west.
Broadway's in New York.
Back in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, they sent them back in
They got to
time.
learn to ride a horse before they can ride a man. And the other thing is they had enough computing power to track a trip
travel
to the moon.
Yeah.
What they brought in, like all those NASA computers in the late 60s.
And they were mostly using it just to update the socials.
Yeah, it was just a social media.
That's the Times using a bit of hyperbole, I assume, but maybe that is literally. I wouldn't be surprised if that's literally
Matt,
the
it's
case.
pronounced hyperbole.
Hyperbole, sorry.
This is embarrassing
so
for you.
embarrassing.
Oh.
Oregano. So, yeah, this is a thing that potentially, so there's existing systems where they could fly parallel and it would be fine. It would just be like, we'll just get a system that's already in place. But they've gone, no, we're going to invent a new system because it's never been done. It would normally be done with pulley systems and stuff. In this case, it was mechanical. So if one small part of the system failed during the show, people are just stuck hanging. And that happened.
I mean, the system works for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you also want to innovate. I do get that. But, I mean, these acrobats have been, trained on this method
Yeah.
of the lane, staying in your lane.
And they've all of a sudden had to hire so many more people just to
7
make
stage
it work.
managers sounds crazy.
Yeah, that sounds confusing.
Yeah.
So clearly a lot of effort was going into the making the flying sequences a huge spectacle, but Bono knew these wouldn't be enough to make the show a success, saying that if wow moments only come from the stunts and not from the soul or the heart, we will all think that we've failed.
Now I'm starting to see why the Irish crowd booed me off stage.
Jess, you were just, during that sentence, I don't know if you saw it, Matt, because you were looking at your computer, that Jess rolled her eyes so hard that
Yeah.
they went backwards, came down again, then sort of went to the centre of her brow like she was looking at a magic eye in anger.
Yeah. I felt
a great
rage
quote.
at that sentence.
From the soul or the heart.
Oh, you think these tricks are good, do you? Yeah, of course I fucking do, Bono. Not here for the soul.
I would love to hear some of the lyrics. Do you
I'm a
later on when you go through-
Spider-Man.
Yeah, how could there be soul? How could there be soul? How? Just how?
I just made myself laugh.
It's very like, oh, I'm a Spider-Man.
It's the wrong accent. I'm sorry.
Without having a show to sell tickets to yet, the production continued to bleed money, and the opening of previews continued to be pushed back time and again. As such, Cole, the producers, set a date for the preview run of the show to begin in November, whether it was ready or not. At this point, the budget had blown out to approximately $65 million.
What? And you said before
Jesus.
15 is a pretty, that's a high mark.
Yeah, 15's high.
Shit.
So this is breaking records. At this time, The Edge and Bono were busy with U2 and missed the first preview shows as they were on tour in Australia.
They were busy with us.
Yeah, they were down here. They were
Busy
bloody-
with Dave and I.
Ah, yes, great. Sorry, you're doing a U2 thing. That's good. I hadn't considered before. That is a confusing name. I wonder if that's ever run them into trouble before. Confusing to me because I also said they were down here in Australia.
Yeah, no, sorry.
And then
With U2.
And then my head exploded.
I didn't get in quick enough. As is always the way.
But yeah, I assume what were you guys up to?
Having a cup of tea?
Yeah?
Having a little cuppa?
Yeah, I remember them mentioning that they were missing those previews, but the tea we had was sensational.
Yeah. very
How
good.
big was The Edge's tea?
Oh, so big.
Yeah, would have had to have
It was
got
a pool. We had to hire a swimming pool and fill it with tea.
And he
Holy
sucked
shit.
it dry.
Did he?
Yeah.
Just sucked it.
He sucked
One
it.
slurp, and we thought, can we get you another tea, The Edge?
Please, and we were thinking, please say no.
Please say no.
We've only got one pool.
And he was polite for a bit, and he said, no, thank you. But then later he was like, you know what, I will have another tea. And we were like, fuck!
Oh, no.
Shit.
We had to,
Takes a long time to steep a pool. The Edge.
and you know how many kettles we had to use? Dave, how many kettles was it at the end?
1,706.
1,706. I said, can we lose 6 of them? Could he have slightly less tea? And Dave said no.
Can we put some cold water in?
Yeah. You don't have it all hot, you know.
Yeah, geez, The Edge knows how to suck. That sounds to be true. But it sounds like they also were they were in and out all the time. Apparently, they'd be like, we're going to be in town for an afternoon and we can pitch some ideas. Here's some ideas we've had. And then they're flying off again. So they're writing the music and the lyrics for the musical, and they're hardly ever around, apparently.
Because by now it's been years, hasn't it?
Yes.
Since the idea was floated.
Yeah, exactly. 2002 was when the idea began, and we're up to 2010 now.
Wow, 8 years
It's a long time.
in that Spider-Man character.
I haven't done anything for 8 years.
Well, I worked at a supermarket for longer than that.
But at the supermarket, you were in and out. They went, yeah, I can pitch a few ideas. Trolleys here,
It was
but I've
very
got to go.
similar. I'm flying off to do a tour.
Yeah, got to go do a tour of Peru.
I'll push a couple of trolleys here, but I've really got to go push some trolleys in Peru.
So you could maybe just get your people to call my people and pass on some notes.
Here's some great ideas. What if we make the trolleys red? I know they're silver now. They have been for a long time, but let's paint
Make
them
them
all.
red. Okay, bye.
And make them upside down so the wheels are on the top. Bye-bye. So yeah, they were not really around that much. Maybe luckily for them, that Australian tour meant they missed out on seeing the disastrous opening week of previews, or weeks. According to
weeks of disaster. Oh, no.
Well, yes. According to The Guardian, the first preview had to be stopped 5 times.
What? What?
Do you think each time one of the 7 stage managers comes out and says, sorry guys, we just got to reset. Sorry about that.
Do they do any dress rehearsals or are they using the previews for that? It's the first time anybody's been in a costume.
Well, there's a lot of pressure to get it started, I think. I mean, they were rehearsing for a long time.
People aren't even off book yet. They're still holding scripts on stage. Just wanted to show that I knew the phrase off book.
Off book.
Prompt.
Prompt. Line.
I know the phrase off-piste, which means skiing something. So,
Guess we all know things.
yeah.
Dave, what do you know?
I
less
know
relevant,
this
but-
phrase jacked off
Oh, okay.
and what it means,
What's it mean?
but I won't repeat it.
Something about pumping on.
Something to do with skiing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Off the rails.
Yeah. Taking a few slopes, if you know what I mean.
What is that? What?
No, I don't know what you mean.
All right, well, I
Getting
asked if you
further
knew
away
and you
from
don't.
understanding. I thought I was close, and now I'm.
Oh, no, I've got no idea. I thought it was ski related. Now I'm convinced it's not at all.
Okay.
Act 1 ended prematurely with Spider-Man stuck dangling 10 feet above audience members, the New York Times said.
Just give us a push.
The audience members have big sticks.
Ow! Ow!
Oh, geez, not
Push,
there.
don't hit!
Oh, my God.
So if it's a pulley system, you know, you're just pulling a rope. But this is like, the computer's frozen.
Oh, no.
That's such a bad
So
idea.
you're just dangling up there for a bit now.
But the
Sorry,
good news
mate.
is NASA just made it to the moon. This computer's just
And
telling
we
me
watched
that.
it all the way there. The New York Post warned that at various points, overhead stage wires dropped on the audience. A real immersive experience.
Oh my God.
So cables are falling on the audience.
Yeah.
That's bad. Sorry.
Sorry to get technical with your drama degree over there, but
That's bad.
Okay, so this isn't how it should go?
No.
Okay.
Wires stay in roof.
Right.
That was-
that
that
makes
was-
sense.
that was one of the director's notes at the end of it. Cast, gather around. I've got some notes.
Question mark.
Why a stay in roof? What do we think? What do you think? Second vote.
It's on their show report that night.
And then Tamer comes and goes, no, I did that once before. I don't repeat
I
myself.
don't repeat myself.
Wires on the audience.
Yeah, I've had him in the roof before.
The Guardian's Hermione Hobie wrote, at the preview performance I attended, bits of scenery fell over.
Fuck.
There were ominous thuds, and a stagehand came on to fiddle with Peter Parker's harness as he was singing a duet. Might have taken you out of it a bit.
Oh, this really took me out of the scene.
Yeah, 'cause it's always-
where Peter Parker is singing a duet.
That's the thing about
I was so
musicals.
in that scene until I saw that stagehand.
Fiddle with Peter Parker's harness.
I just remembered that there's no such thing as a Spider-Man.
Or a duet.
Yeah.
And that I'll always be alive.
So they just started fiddling with his harness.
Yeah, a little fiddle.
One of my favourite things is when you watch a pro band, like a one with a huge show and they change
Yeah.
guitar every song. They break a string, the roadie comes out, give them a new guitar, or they restring it whilst the person's still
Yeah,
playing, and they don't
amazing.
even look back. Like, don't even worry about it. I love that. Or they
that's
throw the
great.
guitar, 15 metres to the side of the stage, and the roadie catches it.
Yeah.
It's like that, but you're dressed in a Spider-Man costume.
I'm also imagining a very obvious looking harness. Like I'm
Yes.
imagining Spider-Man in quite a shit Spider-Man costume, and then over is like a very obvious black, like straps that go across the thighs, then up around the hips, then one across the middle here.
I think they were, you can't hide, like a skin-tight Spider-Man suit can't hide a harness. So I think it was pretty obvious that they were. I listened to this podcast called You Talking You Two to Me,
Yes.
and they did an episode about this. It was like a 2-hour episode, and they didn't mention it. Like the episode was about this musical, and I think they started talking about it about an hour and a half in, which is their way. But they talked about it like it was pretty big, clunky looking harnesses.
Right. I don't remember like it wasn't there was a scene in Wicked where one of the characters flies and it like you don't necessarily see
Big
the harness.
flowing sort of witch dresses. Does that help?
Yeah, and I think it's probably something on her belt or something and the stagehands come out in morph suits and just
Right.
attach something to her.
Yeah.
like
that's-
they
a long
attach
time ago.
a pulley to her, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everyone else does.
Yeah, and people picked her up.
Yeah.
Real people.
Yeah.
In the December 20 preview, stuntman and actor Christopher Tierney's harness wasn't attached to the safety cord.
Oh my God.
This meant he fell 30 feet through the stage into the orchestra pit, leading to a fractured skull, fractured shoulder blade, 4 broken ribs, and 3 broken vertebrae.
30 feet.
Yes. Isn't that wild that he survived? That feels
And he survived.
survived. He returned to the production.
No!
So he broke his back.
Yeah.
And broke
And
fractured
his skull. And his ribs, and fuck.
That night's performance was abandoned. So that was in front of an audience.
Oh my God. Imagine seeing that. I would be sick.
Oh, the sound of him hitting the ground would
Would everyone be like, whoa, this is amazing. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And the reaction of people around you be like, oh, no, that is real good acting, or I think
But
this is not.
He's gone into the orchestra pit and you just hear, wah, wah, wah.
No.
His head landed in a tuba or something. I'm so like, oh, fuck, you'd be shitting yourself. Everyone there would have been. But yeah, amazing to me that he went. I think it was him or one of the other guys that got injured. He said afterwards.
One of the other guys that got injured.
Yeah, he posted about it on his social media apparently and someone said, oh, what happened? Because he showed himself in cast and stuff. And he goes, I'm not sure how much I can say. But anyway, these things happen. No one's fault. It's like, I think that might be someone's fault.
Surely there's a dedicated person to the safety.
I feel like one of the 7, there's such a huge team. Maybe the team's too big.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Nobody can get their job
I thought
done.
you were the one who was meant to, they can't even walk past each other. Oh, I'm trying to get over there to put the, oh no, he's up.
He's gone.
No, he's down.
They've also got one office with one computer.
But it is also tracking.
And you can play Frogger.
Yeah.
So it's pretty sick, actually.
Let me have a go.
My go. Okay, guys, we're going to need to put together a roster for Frogger. It's a froster, okay?
It's fun.
Thank you.
They're fun backstage there.
Yeah, it's fun.
We're having a good time. People are falling from the sky, but we're enjoying ourselves.
Having a great time.
30 feet.
Far out.
It's too far.
So Bono missed all that because he was down here hanging with you two in that big pool of tea.
Come on, Bono.
Wait,
was it Bono's job? Is that what happened? Bono, where were you? You're supposed to clip the safety harness on and now you nearly killed a man.
He's like, oh no, I was playing stadiums in Australia. Damn it, I knew I was meant to be somewhere.
Yeah, God.
He didn't see a show until 5 weeks into previews, and when he did, he noticed the sound quality in the theatre wasn't up to scratch. The music producer was called in to remake the sound system, so he had to come in and just fully redesign it. This is like the theatre they're doing it in, Foxwood Studios or whatever it's called, is a heritage listed building. And they're making all these new tracks on the ceiling and stuff. So all that's super expensive as well because they've got to have professionals in to not damage any of the heritage listed ceilings and all that sort of stuff as well. But apparently the set got so big. I think I heard this on you talking to me as well, where the set got so big that it basically got built out in front of the sound system. So the set's blocking the sound coming out properly. And Bono, I think, maybe was the first to notice it or the first one to go like, this is not good enough.
The sound Bono's like, what's with that? They're like, oh, yeah.
You should be able to hear the
A lot
music,
of
right?
audiences have been leaving pretty confused at the end of the show.
I love you, Peter Parker.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
So he came in, basically goes, oh, this is a problem you need to fix. And then they were off on tour again with you two.
Flies in, bada bing, bada boom.
Despite the troubles, ticket sales were good. And during its first full week of 2011, it had the highest box office gross on Broadway with over 1.5 million in sales.
Wow.
That's good. Really good.
Yeah. The preview shows...
That's good. Really good.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, if it ran like that for a year, they'd make all their money back. Sometimes these shows run for 20.
Yeah, that's right. So they're still, as it's starting to get out there, the team is starting to feel good about it. And they're talking about that publicly, like, there's been a lot of trouble, but it's starting to feel like it's coming together. We can see how this can turn into a success now.
Oh, boy.
The preview shows, I'm sure you two theatre kids would know, but I don't know how much I knew this. They're really there to iron out kinks, and reviewers don't come in until they officially open.
But they were still writing about the production, though.
Yes, you basically normally do it. It's almost like you're doing it publicly, but not officially. and so you're not being judged on it really. And customers don't pay full ticket prices as well.
Right.
Throughout the
Much like the preview shows at the Melbourne International Comedy
come on
Festival.
those early nights.
Those early nights, they're cheaper. There's no reviewers there. Ugh, boo, stinky reviewers. And, we're just talking about the kinks. We figure it out.
But unlike you guys, what you might have 2 or 3 previews. What have they got? Like 6 months of
They're up
previews?
to, yeah. I think they get in hundreds of preview shows.
Hundreds.
I have 4.
That's crazy.
I mean, my show is not a theatre production, to be honest. I do not, and sorry for the spoilers, I do not fly from the ceiling at any stage.
Do you not?
Well, I might.
Yeah, okay. You want to keep it on the down low. I know you.
You know what I'm like.
Pyrotechnics?
No.
Yeah, couldn't possibly.
I'm trying to find one of the suggested act. He gave me James Acker, one of the guys who suggested it, said that he gave me a number for previews.
That's
He
handy.
said I was in previews for 182 shows,
182 shows.
which is a record.
That is crazy. I mean,
great.
you're
Like,
doing it-
how many shows would not ever put on that many as an
if
officially
you do
open?
one a night, that's 6 months of shows.
Yeah.
And they did not. So this was stretched out for a while. So anyway, so they're trying to iron out these kinks in the previews, and they keep pushing back the official opening because there's more and more kinks. Throughout the whole process, the script's being edited. New songs, I think, might have been being written
my
through
God.
part of this stage. Although I did read one of the writers said no songs were taken out. The Edge and Bono really believed in their tunes,
It sort of seems
even though
like...
they weren't really there to see them that much.
Yeah. It seems like if you did go to see one of the preview shows and lived to tell the tale,
You went crushed by a cable or a man.
if you then went and saw it out of preview, it would be 2 completely different shows.
Yes, 100%. And I do talk about a reviewer who saw it early and later, and
Wow.
he compares the two experiences.
In the later show, there wasn't even a Spider-Man. They wrote him out. Boring.
So the cast
Boring.
during the previews, the cast often rehearsed one version of the show in the afternoon before performing a different version that night.
What the fuck?
So they might be their scripts being edited, so they're rehearsing the new style, but it's not ready yet. So they got to perform the other show, the older version of the show that night. So it's very confusing.
That's so
I imagine to be in the
confusing.
cast. As a general rule, the critics, like I was saying, don't review a show when it's in preview mode. But because the production suffered so many delays, critics seem to collectively break this convention of waiting, and they all started reviewing it during the preview run. When the major theatre critics published reviews in February, they were nearly
Oh, I've heard of him.
February. Can someone say
Just say Feb.
Feb? I did, and then I felt like a coward, so I tried to finish
February.
it. February.
Forget about the sneaky R.
Is the sneaky R silent? It's not really. It's like real soft. February. If you just say February, people.
Dave, I can
I'm
see
pretty-
Dave's mouth thinking
Is it-
about
I'm pretty sure I
Is
just
it
dropped the
silent?
R.
Okay.
February when
Yeah,
I
say
said it.
February.
When the major theatre critics published reviews in February, they were nearly.
So hang on, say it
universally
with a bit of
negative.
confidence. You can do it.
When the major theatre critics published reviews in February, they were nearly universally negative.
Oh, nearly. Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Focusing on that nearly.
Not bad.
Scholar Daniel Mendelsohn noted many were critical of Taymor's attempt to bring in the myth of Arachne into the Spider-Man story, saying it turned the show into, quote, a grotesque hybrid, and meant the plot was bloated by having 2 unrelated main villains in Arachne and Green Goblin.
Oh, they kept the Green Goblin.
Yeah, I
They're
don't think,
2 villains.
and I don't think their stories intersected at all. They were just. Apparently, it was a lot to take in for audiences. They're like, "What is happening?"
Oh, man.
According to a review at the time in the New York Times, Ben Brantley wrote, "For a story that has also inspired hit action movies, it is remarkably static in its telling." He went on to say that it may rank among the worst Broadway musicals of all time,
Ooh.
which is that's pretty damning.
I mean, it's hard to try and find the quote to put on your poster from that. This may rank as the worst
May
Broadway.
in capitals, may. According to The Guardian, the producers were furious about the preview reviews. We have preview reviews.
Preview reviews.
Review reviews, saying, We have one of the world's foremost theatrical artists at the helm of this production, and she is creating something exciting and groundbreaking, says Cole, one of the producers. Why any critic would feel that they have the right to determine when the show is ready for review is beyond me. As far as I'm concerned, the show is ready when Julie says it's ready.
Wow.
Obviously, the critics disagreed. The addition of Arachne wasn't the only part of Tamor's book that came in for a caning, though. Another one of her inventions was the geek chorus.
Okay, Dave, this sounds up your alley.
Oh, Pythagoras' theorem. Oh, Spider-Man. How are ya? Oh no, I spilled cheese on my sandwich. I mean, my chest.
I felt cheese on my sandwich.
And then I'm a jock and I walk in. I'm in the jock chorus and I walk in and I give you a wedgie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Run. And then like the 30 people dressed as nerds run.
Yeah.
Is that how it goes?
No.
Did you say geek chorus or Greek chorus?
Geek.
You did say geek.
I was thinking
That's some sort of a pun, though, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's the Greek choruses. Yeah, that's how the ancient Greeks.
And they'd sort of narrate the show for the audience. They're the ones talking.
Yeah, sort of.
So that's basically what the idea was. Only this was 4 comic book geek characters who acted as the show's narrators.
Cool.
But I mean, that
Did they
joke,
rap?
That joke really only works if someone refers to them as the geek chorus. Otherwise, you have to.
Maybe they do.
Please welcome the geek chorus. Get it? It's a play on Greek.
Like Greek. You guys get theatre, yeah?
According to Tamor, the 4 characters represented Bono the Edge, fellow book writer Glenn Berger, and herself. So they've sort of written themselves into the show in a little way.
That's
And she's a genius?
This is...
Dave, she did a cover of the Greek chorus.
Yeah, I get it.
That's clever.
She modernized the Greek chorus. Geek chorus.
yes.
And then put herself in there.
Yeah, sort of. Or someone sort of representing her. This was her talking about the creative process when they did catch up. She said, "We would be at Bono's house in France or another one of our places. The 4 of us all tossing out ideas and setting up tape recorders to make sure our thoughts were captured. We were like our own geek band, and we loved having that spirit in the show." Jess has got a great grimace on her face.
Hanging out at Bono's house in France.
We're all saying great things. Geek chorus. Hope you got that on tape.
Oh, on tape.
According to the Times, critics trashed the device, one calling it utterly superfluous. The geek chorus was soon written out of the show.
Oh no.
So it didn't survive to opening night.
Right, so they're pissed off about the reviews, but really
But they're also going, "Oh, this is good feedback."
They've got a point. Thanks for
Yeah.
the feedback.
Yes.
We thought this was great until everyone said it wasn't great.
We thought, wonder if there's something in that. There were many other elements that were criticised for being confusing. For instance, in the second act, there's a song called Deeply Furious, where Arachne dispatches her spider women from their astral plane to steal shoes from a shop in Manhattan.
I mean,
Are you fucking kidding me?
if it doesn't have soul, what's the point?
Go get those shoes, ladies.
Well, I mean, I think that's a Tamor flourish there. I'm not blaming Bono for that one.
We need eight per person because we're spiders.
So that
And we love shoes
they're in the
and shopping.
astral plane, like was where the gods live or whatever, and then she sends down her sort of spider people,
Women.
to get shoes
Yep.
from a shop.
That's what
steal
women
them,
do. That's what women do. We shop.
And steal.
And
steal.
then
Hearts.
Then there was a big number, big choreographed number where they all danced in high heel shoes, all the spider women. Audience.
I'm imagining them in a
No, you're right.
in a black suit, like a morph suit, but then just like pipe cleaners strapped to their backs to look like extra arms.
Can I just say that for me, this is what I imagine all musicals are. In any other context, that scene would win 10 Tony Awards.
No, isn't it confusing? I mean, she has won Tony Awards for direction. So
oh
it's
my
like,
God, Spider Women with shoes. That would get a standing ovation for 15 minutes in some theatres.
I think sometimes
because people
they
lap this
turn,
shit
right?
up.
They turn on it, and then everyone's on
Yeah.
kicking it
Yeah.
with their
8 legs.
8 legs. But audiences were really confused by this little part of the show, and others, but this one was apparently notably confusing. So to clean it up, the whole go steal the shoes and then we'll have the tap dancing scene or whatever. To clear that up, they didn't get rid of the dancing. What they did is they changed the line to, I descended from the astral plane with the help of human shoes, the earthbound arachne announced. Though according to the Times, that didn't seem to help audiences much. So instead of the line about go steal some shoes, she said, I descended from the astral plane with the help of human shoes. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't understand.
I really want to get my hands on the recordings of them in France in Bono's house. Yeah. One of them was like, all right, how about we rewrite it? We just say they got to Earth with the help of shoes. And everyone just starts.
Right? Wait.
Yes, Bono, yes.
Human shoes.
Love it.
Yes,
put it in.
Not horse shoes.
It's so wild. I'm doubting that that's real. Where did I get that from? I'm pretty sure a reliable source. But fuck, that's funny. I think that was from the Times.
That's insane.
Oh, man.
What do you mean?
With the help of human shoes. Got it.
There we go. Nailed it. I saw a dog wearing shoes yesterday. It was probably one of the highlights of my week.
And it said, I'm walking down the street with the help of human shoes.
Dave can't swallow his water. Stop drinking during the show.
Oh,
Dave.
no, I get
that's what you're
thirsty, but at the same time, I laugh at you guys a lot.
When you're talking about the, I think maybe I've got this written down somewhere later, but talking about how the costumes, that's one thing that they were like Tony nominated.
Okay.
For costume
I mean,
design.
there were 4 people whose job was shopping.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, at first they were just going to steal.
Right, so the costumes are good.
I think the
despite
costumes
in
are
my
good, yeah.
imagination they're very bad.
Oh, you've got to watch this Letterman clip.
Okay.
I don't know if they're good or not. They're big and wild.
You show me and I'll tell you.
Oh, should we pause now and watch it?
Yeah.
All right, everyone, in the show notes, there'll be a link to this video. We'll come back in a second. Yep, so we just watched it. What first instinct there?
I hated that.
Okay.
I hated that a lot.
Well,
But
There was a lot going on.
Too much.
The music was just I couldn't sing any of it back to you. There was no melody. It was just
all the freaks in New York City. Bum, bum, bum. And I have listened to it a lot.
yeah, right. But no,
It's sort of catchy.
the costumes were I think either really over the top and amazing, like they've spent lots of time and effort. The backup dancers were wearing like flanny shirts and singlets
I
and
guess they were just the people of New York.
trying to look like street, but they just looked a little underdressed to me. I think they should put on a tuxedo.
What about the science ladies who are wearing sparkly lab coats?
All right, they
that's
had me on
my
board. I
kind
was
of
on board.
science.
So yeah, we recorded us talking over it a little bit. If you're on Patreon, so you should be able to see that. Just slot it in there. Otherwise,
Little Patreon commentary.
you can just look at the bloody link in the show notes to watch it yourself. And I reckon you should. So yeah, that was the main guy Dave pointed out, which I didn't even notice. Spider-Man's not in the clip.
Spider-Man does not appear on stage at all, and David Letterman comes out there and says, so you can see all these guys in Spider-Man. And it's like, hang on, what?
That's crazy. The guy who's playing the Green Goblin,
Yes.
he's great.
Yeah.
And you were saying, Matt, that the reason that he was the showcase character was because he actually was popular with audiences, unlike anyone else, maybe?
I think he was the one that critics would talk about as being one of the standout performers.
He's very good.
Yes. I think I'll talk a little bit about...
Wait, was his tongue green?
Yeah, I think he had that must have been a bit based on Gene Simmons from Kiss. He had the big long tongue. And he sort of had the top knot thing going on.
Yeah.
Prosthetic, you reckon?
Top knot or tongue?
Tongue.
I don't think you could talk with a prosthetic tongue.
That's true.
I reckon you'd probably
That might have
just...
got him the part.
He'd gargled something earlier that made his tongue look green.
Can you imagine Alan Cumming in that role?
Yes.
Yeah, I can too, actually, yeah.
I can imagine Alan Cumming in that role.
Filled his suit every night.
Alan, no.
This is how I get into character. Get out of my dressing room. The other
That's
characters,
old school Broadway.
The other characters started to complain that your suit smells. I never wash my suit.
Your understudy who has to come in and play your role.
The understudy, that poor young man.
or woman. Probably a
sorry.
man. Probably a man.
Sorry.
So I'll kick back into the report from here. The show took a lot of the criticisms on board and continued to rewrite the show, with Harris conceding that while we don't agree with everything the critics said, we're not stupid.
Oh my God. Well, then you wouldn't have made a bad show in the first place.
Oh, it's hard. It's so tricky because he's like, we're the money people. They did their job very well. They raised a record amount of money for a musical. They just didn't. Maybe they weren't honing everything in like they could have, or something. It's hard to know. But really, it sounds like the guy who had all those skills is the guy who died of a stroke at the start.
Oh, imagine him
Yeah, 'cause
looking down,
it
shaking
seemed-
his head.
From the way people write about it, if he was still around, it would have all been very different. In early 2011, Roberto Aguirre Sacasa was enlisted by producers to help rewrite the script. So they're like, we need to do bigger changes than just like fiddling around the edges. We need to make wholesale changes. To
By
the
this
script.
time, the cast have memorized so many different versions, different acrobatic moves.
Not long after Roberto was brought on, Tamor left the production.
Oh.
So I think it's sort of unclear if she was left or she was pushed or what happened. But yeah, she was out. And
Do you have any idea if she went on to do other stuff? Because before this, she's an acclaimed genius. The Lion King, that's a big credit to your name. But then you go from huge hit to big, obviously, maybe you could say flop.
Yeah.
yeah,
Something with a lot of trouble. Did that
Yeah.
ruin her career, or can
No,
she go
she-
on to be a genius in other ways?
I think The Lion King has still
Children's
been
books.
her biggest thing, but she has continued on with more.
What did you say, Jess?
Children's books.
Oh, right.
There's always children's books.
Could be a genius in other things, like children's books.
She's made films, and she's what has she made since then? She did
Don't tell me.
Midsummer's
Cats,
Night's
the
Dream in
movie.
2014. The Glorias this year, which I don't know what that is. And she's worked on a bunch of other stage productions, including a few different Shakespeare turns, like A Midsummer's Night's Dream. Did I say that right?
Too many plurals.
No, it doesn't look like she's done too many things since. But she's also, I don't know, she's 67, so maybe she's just slowing down naturally. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
But
Slowing down naturally.
but she's still making stuff.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
good. I just wasn't sure because, it might have just ruined her.
Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, hopefully it hasn't, because it's a teamwork thing, and this one didn't quite come off, but
Well, hopefully she just gets like 0.5% or whatever from the Lion King musical and
Yeah.
that just bankrolled her forever.
I think she ended up suing the producers for this and settled out of court. So I think I don't think she's struggling for cash anyway. She won she got like a $500,000 grant for it was called like a Genius grant or something from some arts body.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
That's why she applied.
She's like, that sounds up my alley.
I'll take one of those.
Yeah. A very clever person, Grant. No, thank you.
That's not quite me. That's not quite right.
That's cute.
The show's official opening continued to be pushed back, and when it was pushed back for the 6th time, they also shut down previews for nearly a month. Cole and Harris explained that the shutdown was due to the fact the story needed some work, the songs needed some work, and the sound needed some work. So the show needed a fair bit of work at that
Yeah.
point.
The lighting needed some work.
But the ushers know what they're doing.
The
Ushers,
great.
honestly, they are ready to go at a moment's notice.
They're the highlight of the show.
You ask them which row is A, they'll tell you straight
Oh,
away.
they know.
No worries.
Sci-Fi Wire noted that with all the changes and with no money or time to spare, scenes would be scrapped, but the sets remained and had to be used in new ways they weren't intended for. Songs were appropriated for new meanings and moments in the show, regardless of whether it made sense. Characters were dropped or had their roles decreased. Not literally dropped, although that is also true. Except for the Green Goblin, who ended up becoming the main villain of the show. What this led to was a mixed bag for the censors. Some scenes would look spectacular, while others seemed unbearably cheap. When it became clear that Page's performance as the Green Goblin was one of the show's best assets, a new song was written called A Freak Like Me Needs Company, which is what we saw on The Late Show with David Letterman. And in it includes the line, "I'm a $65 million circus tragedy." Actually, more like 75. So he's just like calling. They've written into the show the budget. So, having a bit of a sense of humor about themselves. Because during this whole time, apparently it's just in everything. Like late night monologues are talking about it every week. And it's just, it's a big industry joke.
I feel like I've seen it parodied in a sitcom. I want to say Kimmy Schmidt maybe.
Yeah, I think it has been on Kimmy Schmidt. It's been parodied on a bunch of things. The Simpsons has referenced it a few times, as has Robot Chicken.
Right.
And Saturday Night Live a lot of times. The official opening finally came around on June the 14th, 2011, at which point the budget had grown to $75 million. By far the highest budget of a Broadway musical ever.
Oh my God.
As I said before, for comparison, normal budgets between 5 and 15 million. According to Vulture, the website, not the Spider-Man villain, the next most expensive Broadway musical is at number 2 is 2008's Shrek the Musical. So this is the number 2, $25 million.
Fuck me.
You could have had 3 Shrek musicals.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more Shrek musicals.
It's playing in Melbourne at the moment.
I know.
So they've made that work. So I imagine they've made their money back if they're touring it internationally like that. Vulture broke down, again, the website, broke down where the money was spent, including over $9.5 million on sets and costumes. So nearly more than some whole budgets were just on sets and costumes. Nearly $4.5 million to rent Foxwoods Theatre for the 2 years before the performances even began.
Oh
so
my
they're renting out
God.
this super expensive space without being able to get any income back from it. Around $2.2 million on flying equipment, over $400,000 on props, and over $370,000 on puppets.
What about paying the actors and all the staff?
Much smaller costs, I think.
$3 a piece.
Wow.
Doing it for the love. You got to do theatre for love.
Oh.
Remember
Don't
when
get
I
paid.
said before, Dave, that they sold 1-point-something million in tickets that week, and it was a real good week for them? The weekly production budget also blew out to around $1.3 million, meaning the show had to regularly break ticket sales records to have any chance of recouping
Oh
the
my
investors'
God.
money.
What are you thinking?
So just that week, you'd have to make back that money's week. The money from that
I
week.
think that's how I read it. Like so to make it back 75 million, you've really got to be
It's got to run for 80 years
Yeah.
and break a record every week.
Yeah. Which they did with a gross of $2.9 million for the week of December 25th, 2011. So there was this period where it was looking pretty good. That was the highest one-week take for any show ever, beating the record set by Wicked.
I would love to know how much the tickets were.
They apparently weren't cheap. They were, so...
Fuck.
It's very interesting.
They were $2.3 million. They sold 1 ticket a week.
They were just, with that budget, it was so hard to ever make it a
Yeah.
success. And that's what the full quote before, where one of the second producers called him a schmuck, the earlier guy, said, "Do you think this is a $30 million show, which is what we've basically made it, or a $65 million show?" But that's because of all the money that was wasted before we got here.
By the
basically.
schmuck.
The
And he's
schmuck.
still going, I loved it. I loved it.
The show received a few award nominations, including, like I said before, Tony nominations for costume and scenic design. The only actor to receive nominations was Patrick Page, who played the Green Goblin. He was nominated for Outstanding Featured Actor in a Musical at the Drama Desk Awards. Though apparently when he wasn't nominated for a Tony, he left the production. Some said he was sort of hanging around because there was some buzz around him. As soon as the Tony nominations were announced, he
didn't get nominated.
He didn't get nominated, so he left. Because I think it was a bit of a shit show, I guess, that it was hanging around.
Yeah, there's a reason for it. Yeah. It'll build up my career if I win a Tony.
And then if you win a Tony for a performance, maybe you'd probably stick in it, and that would be good for the show as well. I imagine.
Yeah, it's win-win.
The show was generally reviewed more favourably after the script rewrite. Brantley, who I mentioned before, was scathing in his review of the preview season, revised his thoughts saying, quote, "So is this ascent from jaw-dropping badness to mere mediocrity a step upward? Well, until last weekend, I would have recommended Spider-Man only to carry on feasting theatre vultures. Now, if I knew a less than precocious child of 10 or so and had several $100s to throw away, I would consider taking him or her to the new and improved Spider-Man." pretty good praise.
Oh.
It's a long quote to put on the side of a subway car, but they did it.
Yeah, you'd say, what would you put in there? I would consider taking him or her to the new and improved Spider-Man. Linda Buchwald from stagegrade.com said, critics actually missed some of Julie Taymor's ambition. Crazy as they may have thought it at the time, critics agree that the show is improved in that it makes much more sense. However, now they are mostly just finding it a bore. Bono and the Edge's score is almost universally panned, while Patrick Page's Green Goblin and stunning visuals remain, for most critics, the best reasons to see the show. I also saw someone mentioned that it had this cool sort of 2D effect, sort of like it's off the page, I guess, of a comic book, which I, obviously, on the only clip I've seen is that Letterman clip, and that it doesn't seem to be the case there, but maybe the sets are that way or something.
I think that review there of Patrick Page, like him being the only redeeming quality, I would love that.
Yeah.
I love being a
carrying
big
this
fish in a
show.
small pond.
Right.
Love that. Some people are like, bloody, I want to get out there and make myself. Fuck that. I want to stay with these mediocre dummies and appear great.
Yes.
Is that what you're doing here?
I think that's what she might be saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying about this.
It also does. It's starting to make sense why you hang around.
Yeah. Why else would you hang
Look
around?
how good I look on this podcast.
We make you look good.
Make me look really good.
Yeah, that's a compliment that you're paying us, right?
Yeah, you make me look good. Improv is all about making your scene partner look good. And
Yep.
if anything, a podcast is really just a long form improv.
It's long form improv. We're basically doing a Harold right now. I'm doing Harold. Look at me. I'm doing Harold. Am I saying that right?
And scene.
Thank you.
So they've lost the only thing about the show that people like because he left.
Yes. Here is a list of injuries.
Oh my God.
So I mentioned before that stuntman Christopher Tierney fell 30 feet, breaking multiple bones.
Terrifying.
But then he recovered and returned to the
Don't come
show.
back. Sue them.
Vulture notes that there were many other injuries on set, including Kevin Orban, who broke both wrists when he was catapulted from one end of the stage to the other in October 2010. Brandon Rubendahl broke a toe that same month doing the same stunt as Orban.
No, not a toe.
Natalie Mendoza, who played in the previews, played the villain Arachne. She suffered a concussion during the first preview on November 28, 2010, when she was struck in the head with a piece of equipment while standing in the wings. And then this is the most full-on one. On August the 15th, 2013, Daniel Curry, a stunt double, got his right foot stuck in a stage lift, and then a trapdoor closed on the foot, breaking the foot and both of his legs and necessitating, quote, unspecified amputations.
Oh.
Isn't that...
What the fuck?
Ugh.
Oh.
I'm so confused why that guy, the one who broke every bone, went back.
Yeah, I guess stuntmen, I think, yeah, they're just kind of mad.
Don't go back. Sue them for negligence and get a better job.
I think you're misunderstanding. This is in America. It's not a very litigious society.
Interesting.
So, but that guy lost his feet, possibly his legs.
Oh my
Well, yeah,
God.
it feels like someone should be able to find out unspecified amputations.
That's so awful.
Ugh.
Anyway, yeah, that is obviously I mean, in some ways it seems like it's lucky no one died, but
Yeah.
that's still that guy was Jesus. Feels like a brutal nightmare. Anyhow, all good things must come to an end, and by September 2013. The box office gross had slipped to $621,960, so less than half the running budget.
Oh dear.
The slipping ticket sales, as well as understandably struggling to secure injury insurance, meant the show was closed on January the 4th, 2014, ending one of the most tumultuous Broadway runs of all time, with investors losing an estimated $60 million.
Oh, God.
My God, that sucks.
The show's infamy has led to it being spoofed in popular culture, like I mentioned before, Simpsons, Robot Chicken, SNL, and also Sesame Street.
Oh my God, even Sesame
Sesame
Street's
Street's
having a
going
swing.
Yeah, they're kicking you while you're down.
The producers have long talked about touring the show internationally to help recoup the losses. A residency in Las Vegas has also been speculated about for a long time. And there was even a website that was put together, so I think it got pretty close. But as of 2020, still nothing has happened there. The 2014 performance was the last that's happened.
But if it toured internationally, would people go to see it?
I feel like they would. I feel like it's so famous.
I'd go to see the train. I'd go hoping it was bad.
Which I think is what a lot of people went to at the time as well.
That sucks.
But there was a mix of some people. I mean, I read a lot of quotes from people also saying, we loved it. It's so much fun. Some people went back again and again. But other people going, yeah, we want to see someone fall from the sky.
That's amazing.
Like going to see a monster truck show or something, I guess.
Same reason. Fuck him up!
Tamor, like I said before, sued the producers, eventually settled with them.
What'd you sue them for?
I'm guessing it's like some sort of breach of contract or something. And she seems to blame Bono and The Edge the most for the show's issues.
Why?
So they've had a real falling out. They were quite close and friendly, and I think...
They were barely there.
They came in,
Well,
wrote
I
a couple of
think
songs.
for those sort of reasons.
Okay, well, fucking maybe attach a fucking safety thing.
Oh yeah, I don't think she's blaming them for the injuries more.
Again, it was Bono's
but
job.
I mean, like, of all the things that went wrong,
Yeah.
there aren't critics who are like, I mean, everything's perfect, but the music's trash.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening here.
Right.
It's that you're changing the script. Fucking.
But I wonder if, I mean, in her mind, I wonder if she's like, if they were around more, we could have worked out a more coherent story. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just the messenger, Jess. But also, I will defend Tamor to the death.
And I will defend Bono to the death. No, I don't give
I
a
just
shit.
naturally
Two
love them all.
geniuses.
I think I love them all, and I just want them all to be successful. Isn't it funny for me to have this underdog support for people like Bono and The Edge? I'm like, everyone has a go at them. You know, they're all right, aren't they? They're just having a go, but they're like multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
Can't these little guys just have a bit of success?
They don't need your pity.
No, I know. I don't know why I do it, but I really feel for them.
Yeah.
You're a real
people-
Garfinkel.
Yeah, I am a bit of a Garfinkel, I think.
Just wanted everyone to have a good time.
They just, I don't know why it feels mean that they attract so much hate.
But pay so little tax. Am I right, Dave?
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah,
Stick it to them.
Okay. I'll finish with these words from the co-writer of the show, Mr. Berger. He remains somewhat upbeat about it all. He's probably been the one who's
Sorry.
You don't remember Mr. Berger?
Mr. Berger.
Neither of us remembered, and we looked at each other like, well, telepathically, Dave and I spoke to each other just then and said,
Glenn-
do you remember Mr. Berger? And Dave said, I do not.
Well, I called him Glenn Berger before, but
Right.
now
Then I thought maybe it was Miss De Berger.
Christa Berg.
Yeah, and then I
Lady
thought
in
of
Red.
Krista Berger, Lady in Red.
Do I tell this story every time he comes up? It's one of those you had to be there moments.
Every time he comes up, which is weekly at this stage.
When I was in backpacking and we were in Krakow, one of my mates, all of a sudden we got the run of this bar. We're behind the bar, we're playing the music, we're pouring our own drinks. I don't know what happened. Anyway, Poland's great. And then, and then Lady in Red came on. My mate was wearing a red t-shirt and he took his shirt off and put it on a stool and then just started slow dancing with the stool. And I've never cried and laughed so hard. Maybe not until that pack of loose dogs or whatever in one of those bonus episodes. Anyway, I'm glad I recounted that to you guys.
That's beautiful. That was
It's
a nice
beautiful
moment.
It's a
A
lovely
real beautiful
moment.
moment.
That's lovely.
And he fucked that chair.
And the chair fucked him.
We went to Auschwitz that week. What a roller coaster
Yeah,
of emotions.
wow.
Wow.
Big
Anyway,
week.
Miss De Berg or Mr. Berger.
The Burger, Mr. The Burger. So he seems he's the one that's been talking the most. He's written a book about it. He's been on podcasts and interviewed a lot. And this quote says, "What gets lost in this story is how many people actually wound up loving the show. For a lot of people, because it was Spider-Man, it was their first musical ever. And for some, it was kind of a gateway drug. They were turned onto Broadway musicals in a way they hadn't been before." So he's sort of saying, this has kind of saved Broadway.
In a way.
Yeah, in a way, in many ways. Well, in our way.
In a way, I am the king of Broadway.
Yeah.
I am Mr. Berger.
Bow down to your king, Broadway.
Did I mention, was this telling you off podcast, the reason it's called Turn Off the Dark is not clear from watching the musical apparently, but it was a phrase that one of the key decision makers' kids would say when he wanted his parents to turn a light on. Mummy, turn off the dark. And they go, that's real cute.
That is cute.
Let's name this huge
but what has that
musical.
got to do with
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
nothing.
I guess the dark is badness is probably what they were thinking. But yeah, it doesn't seem to have any
that
literal connection.
Sounds bad.
So do you have any idea what the plot was? Like, does Spider-Man have to beat? Is it like, you know?
It changed so much.
Oh, right, of course.
God.
It changed so much, but in the end, I think it was pretty much just based on the first two of the big Spider-Man movies.
It's been all that time, came up with their own superheroes, their own bad guys, all this script, and then in the end they just went, print the script off for Spider-Man 1 and 2, staple them together and hand it to the cast. We're good to go.
I just, did I mention on the pod I just bumped into Brie Williams and Meso on the way here, and Brie saw it and she said they never even say, it's an origin story for Spider-Man, but they never even say with great power comes great responsibility, and Uncle Ben's role is very small in it, so it's not exactly the same. Apparently they've merged a few of the storylines. I read somewhere that it was the Green Goblin's storyline was kind of the merge between the Green Goblin from the movie and the Dr. Ock storylines maybe. And I think at some point the big fight between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin happened relatively early in the show. And then I learned this again from You Talking You Two to me. Apparently, so one of the stagehands or something said, you should have the big fight sequence at the end of the show. And then people were like, yeah. Yeah, that does make sense.
Fuck
Give
me.
this stagehand $1 million.
Stop giving away money, first of all.
I think because Mr. Berger wrote this scene where they were up on the top of the Empire State Building, and that's where the fight happened, and a piano fell off, and that's how the Green Goblin died, I think. Pretty cool stuff. I really want to see this.
And then he said, put it at the end, and they went, genius.
Genius. Bree said she was so excited to talk about it, and I said, so was it good? And she said, oh my God, no. It was, it was awful, but
That's
it
great.
was really fun to watch.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I would hate watch it. Like, I love to watch bad films on Netflix.
Right.
I live for
Yeah,
it.
don't you and your friend have a special night where you do?
Yeah, we did it on Friday.
You get
What did
together.
you watch?
It's the best. Well, we watched the sequel to All the Boys I Loved Before or whatever. It's called like To All the Boys I Still Love, P.S. Still Love You Part 2. Like, it's fucked. And the first one was good. The second one, trash. It was so bad, and then we watched something else terrible afterwards. One of our favourites that we've watched is a girl who has to move from California to Adelaide.
Here we go.
Loving this story.
I'm strapped.
I'm
so far
assuming
in.
for her parents' work or something, and then she joins the gymnastics team at this high school, and all the other high school girls are like very competitive because they want to get scholarships to college.
Okay.
First of all, we don't call it college here. Second of all, don't need scholarships.
Why was Adelaide written into? So it's clearly an American script.
No, there's one American in Adelaide.
So it is an Australian movie.
Yeah?
I'm guessing funded by the state of South Australia.
Who knows?
And they're like, yeah, we need to do gymnastics. Tomorrow we're going to be performing for President Bush. What are you talking
I can't
about?
afford to go to college. Yeah, you can. You can. You absolutely can.
Spring break, everybody.
Anyway, it was great.
That does sound great. And that brings us to the end of the report.
Hooray!
That was a ripper. I had a great time with that. I reckon
done.
I had more fun hearing about that than I would seeing the show.
Big time.
Yeah.
I would sit there and just cringe.
I do find, musicals, I've got a weird relationship with them. I mean, I hardly ever seen any, but when I have, they always feel a bit weird.
Yeah.
The Green Goblin vibe, it was kind of similar to not really, but a little bit similar to the Buffy the Musical bad guy, which is one of my only touchstones for musical stuff. Also, Annie, Little Orphan Annie.
Of course.
Fantastic.
You love Little Orphan
I love
Annie.
Little Orphan Annie. Why do I smell wet dog? Great line. Even better than I've come down with the help of human shoes.
Human shoes. I need to
so
specify.
So that brings us to the point of the show that everyone loves. It's called the Fact, Quote or Question section of the show. And you can get involved in this if you go to patreon.com/dogoonpod. You can ask us a fact, a quote or a question. You can't ask us two of those three, but you can tell us the other two. If you join on the Sydney Schoenberg Deluxe Memorial Rest in Peace edition level. And this week we have Phil Bourgeois. But how do I not know his name yet?
Bourgeois?
Bourgeois, is it? Phil Bourgeois. And you get to give yourself a title, and Phil's given himself the title of Senior Executive of Bleeping Out C Bleep.
That's good.
I would really love it if you could do that role, because then we could just start talking freely again.
Yeah. We wouldn't have to censor ourselves anymore.
As soon as we stop recording each week, I say, cunt! Oh, no. Phil, I'm going to need you.
Phil, we need you. Get him in.
Get Phil in. So Phil's given us a quote, and his quote is, outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. Groucho Marx. Good line.
Had that on a bookmark at some point. As a kid, I thought that was so funny, and also thought I was very sophisticated for understanding it.
I think it is. I think it's a great line.
Do you think I was sophisticated, though, for getting it?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Knowing Groucho Marx's work, very sophisticated.
That puts you in the top 2% of society.
Yep.
Thank you.
I think you might even get a phone call from...
Mensa?
No, I was thinking my friend Trudy. She just loves those kind of quotes.
Oh.
Jacket, thank you so much, Phil Bourgeois.
Please don't give Trudy my number.
Huh. Okay. Well... Jacoby D'Angel.
Jacoby. It's Jacoby.
Jacoby Dangle.
I think it's Jacoby D'Angel.
Jacoby D'Angel has given himself the title of writer, director, cinematographer, editor, producer, executive producer, best boy, and actor of the Do Go On movie. I think that might have been your title last time around. I love consistency.
I think Jacoby, when the Patreon group put together the birthday message for Jess and I, he was the one standing in front of the Hollywood
He was.
sign.
Yes. He's
So
a
I think he might be a
movie
well-connected
maker.
movie mogul.
Yep.
So we appreciate
it's good to
him
have
being on board.
It's the kind of man we need on the team.
And the budget has already gone $75 million over. So we really need someone to put him in a box. Otherwise, it's going to keep getting
You gotta
bigger
rein
and
it
bigger.
in.
Jacoby's also given us a quote, writing, "Hey guys, I don't have anything too fancy this time around. This quote is from my favourite movie. See if you can guess it." Bracket, or use the internet bracket.
All right.
No, I shan't be doing that. I will guess.
I've got the internet already here.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and
to
look
around once in a while.
once in a while, you could miss it.
Did you put that on a bookmark as well? Is that
Yeah.
Groucho Marx? Groucho Marx, lock it in.
I had that on a bookmark.
Is that Forrest Gump?
No. Starts with an F.
Vin
Forrest
Diesel.
Whitaker.
Do you know, Dave?
Forrest.
Surely you know.
What was the actual quote? Can I hear it again? In a sentence, please.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it.
If you think I know it, is it Terminator 2?
It's an F movie.
Ferris Bueller.
Oh, of course. I said it in a weird voice, which made me not realise who it is. Yeah, he says that to the audience. Mm-hmm. Great film.
Great film.
Annoying. I assumed it was just a movie I hadn't seen. But it's one of my favourite films.
It's great. It's a good movie.
I love it so much.
Love it. Watch it frequently. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Didn't love it.
No, I don't dislike it. It's one of those ones that I've seen so long ago.
Yeah, right.
I know I've seen it. I know a couple of the famous scenes, but I can't remember if that's from my own memory or just pop culture.
Bueller. Classic.
Bit of stuff on the phone,
Yep.
pranking the principal or
Yeah,
something.
a lot of that. Yep.
So he's got a nice car.
Yeah. Cameron's dad's car.
All right, I'll watch it and I'll
Rewatch
let
it.
you know.
Let's watch it together.
Yes.
Come
on that
round.
night.
I'll put on some popcorn.
Great, you're excited for that, but when I want to watch Terminator 2, you give me
I'm busy.
no acceptance.
I'm up for it if there's popcorn.
Very busy.
We're doing it for my Patreon bonus episode.
Love it. Keen.
Going to be so much fun.
Who's got the comfiest couch? It's not me.
Is your couch not comfy?
No, it sucks.
Oh.
I'm getting rid of it when we move. It sucks so much. Just sinks in the middle.
Oh, what a shocker.
It sucks.
Sinks in the middle and a sea of spoon. A little Bob Blue and the man on the moon. Sinks in the middle, son, I don't know when. It's in the middle, son. I know what's in the middle, sink, son. Sink, 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 son. My son's a sink.
I'd like to dedicate that to Jacoby.
My son.
My son, Jacoby. Jacoby.
Jacoby of all trades. So now we like to thank a few Patreon supporters. Mm-hmm. And normally Jess has a little game to play.
Oh, yeah. Let's name their musical after something a child would say.
Oh, that's fun. All right. First off, I'd love to thank from Victoria, Meg Stevens.
Meg Stevens.
The musical is I Did a Poo.
Sorry about that, Meg, but that...
A kid would yell that. A kid would yell that.
But it's not gonna be just called I did a poo.
That's
it's gonna
like
be,
that's
I did a whoopsie.
It's gonna be called
I did a whoopsie.
Willy Wonka. I did a poo.
I did a whoopsie.
I did a whoopsie.
Willy Wonka, I did a poo, in brackets, I did a whoopsie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's too many people on this project.
Yeah.
There's no bad ideas.
There's no good ones here
Sadly,
yet either.
there are no bad ideas.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Meg.
Good on you, Meg Stevens. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
From Victoria, I'd love to thank Tim Williams.
Why we just gave you nothing there. Tim Williams.
Timmy Will.
Timmy Will.
All right. Danger Mouse.
I did a whoopsie.
Good stuff.
I don't know if you realise this, but that's one Dave just
What do you
did.
mean? Okay, you want me to go again? Dave, give me Danger Mouse again.
Okay. At my musical that
Danger Mouse.
that I produced with the sponsorship of Tim Williams is Danger Mouse.
Paschetti.
Oh, that made me hungry.
Which a kid would say.
Yeah.
Danger Mouse Paschetti.
Pass me the Paschetti. Fantastic. Tim, great musical. Can't wait to watch it. Obviously, the Paschetti has very little to do with the film, but that's okay.
And also the musical too.
Yeah.
I'll thank some people also.
Please.
I would love to thank from Queensland. We've met in our shows in Brisbane. I would love to thank Jessica Rahajo.
Ooh, Jessica. Captain Planet.
There's a spider in my bed.
Classic kids.
I mean, these kids are really forming full sentences. I would say there's a spider in my bed. If there was a spider in my bed.
Great. Well, if you could give an example of what you actually wanted when you came up with this game, I would really appreciate it.
No criticism. Just saying these are very advanced kids. Sorry if that came across criticism for that dumb idea.
Do you want to dumb it down?
Dumb it down.
Captain Planet, Spidey bad.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go. Now he's getting it. Finally. Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, Jessica.
I would also love to thank from San Antonio in Texas.
Spurs country. Wonder if David Robinson is one of your neighbours.
Probably. And he's talking to you, Frank John Villarreal.
Don't worry, I think you got away with it.
FJV. Love that.
FJV.
Wow. Maybe he knows Paddy Mills, Australian basketballer, plays for the Spurs.
I'm sure he knows them. I'm sure.
Okay, so this one is going to be a film called Batman.
No, please.
No, please. That's nice. No,
One of my
please.
friends used to say yes, please, and no, please, and her parents never corrected her because it was very cute.
I think no, please is great.
No, please.
Batman, no, please.
Yeah.
No, please.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That might almost make sense. You could have one of the Joker's, clown people being tortured, and he said, no, please.
But it also leaves it open to the reviewer being like, yeah, no one was pleased.
Yeah.
Batman, no, please. They got that right.
Yeah.
This whole movie was a whoopsie.
Thank you, Frank. We appreciate it. Dave.
All right, I would like to finally bring us home with thanking a couple of people now. From Preston in Tasmania, I would like to thank Thomas Jewell.
Thomas Jewell.
Who, of course, is producing the Top Cat musical.
Top Cat.
Can I have $5?
Top Cat, can I have $5? A story of rags to riches.
Yes.
And you've got to write it in that voice somehow.
Yeah. No, it's just a different font.
Yeah.
Should be easy enough to do.
Whiny font.
Yeah. A real whiny font.
Can I come too?
Oh.
Great bit. Thank you to all of our supporters. Oh, do we have
there's one more. There's one more, but I've just lost the page.
Oh, well, I've got it here if you want me to say it, and then you can say it
All right,
again.
bring it up. Who we got? Who am I thinking?
Wow, I don't know what all this means, but from Portland, Oregon, first name Round, second name Hill Pacific.
Round Hill.
Oh, hang on. No, I think the name is after that. Mina Northrup.
I like Round Hill Pacific. Mina Northrup.
Yes.
Okay, he's an adaptation
From
of-
Portland, Trailblazers country. I wonder if she knows. I can't. Can you remember any Trailblazers players?
No.
Neither. That's bad.
Okay.
Nina, I didn't even know her.
That's good
Classic
stuff.
kid.
Kid would say
phrase.
that.
Yeah.
A kid would say that.
And that's the name of the Dragon Ball Z musical. Dragon Ball Z.
Amina, I didn't even know her.
That was, I remember like a real small version of like Bob Hope or something.
Yeah.
Child Bob Hope would have
A
said
little
that.
golf club.
Yeah.
Just walking around.
Mini golf.
Very cute.
So cute.
So cute.
Do we
Thanks
have-
so much to all our supporters.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Do we have any members of the
Oh.
Triptych Club this week?
Yes, and Dave, did you see that on Twitter someone emailed us a sparkly font?
Yes,
that
it
you
was
can
a
use?
place to hang your cape. Thanks so much for that, mate.
Thank you, David.
Sadly, will not be required
Wait.
at this time.
What do you mean not
So
be
stand
required?
down. Stand down.
I don't understand how that. What do you mean not be required?
Dave.
Appreciate that, though. Appreciate the thought. It's the thought that counts.
Okay.
But sadly, will not be required.
Mate, you're
Okay.
confusing me.
We have 4 inductees this week into the La-Di-Da
Yep.
Triptych Club.
4.
Black tie only.
Got it.
From Madison, West Virginia, probably. It's Tyler Thompson.
Tyler Thompson.
Double T.
Harlow, Essex, in Great Britain. Jordan Elmer.
Jordan.
From Ontario, Canada. It's Kathleen Neves.
Wow, how many hyphens?
Kathleen Naves. And from Frome in Somerset, Great Britain, it's Will White.
Will I?
Tyler, Jordan, Kathleen, Will, welcome.
Okay. I didn't know we do that every week, but I love it.
We don't do it every week. This week is party week in the club.
Oosh, 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 oosh. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that party. Now
Yeah,
everybody
thank you.
get out. Take some rubbish with you on the way out.
Please.
Many hands make light work.
Thank you. Not too much to ask. Thank you so much, all of you, we are humbled by your presence. Thanks so much for coming in. It's good to see you in here. Hopefully you enjoyed touching the velvety things we have sprinkled around the place.
So much.
Yeah. It's a lot of velvet.
Touch it.
We have four.
touch it.
We've got
Touch the
4
velvet.
professional velvet choppers.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yep.
Yeah. And
We are
quite a
broke.
few amateurs.
Yes, that's right. We are so in debt. Our running costs here are $1.5 million a week.
So does that bring us into the episode?
What it does.
Well, if people want to support us on Patreon, let's not forget that they can get some bonus episodes on there, including our most recent one, which was a report on a very often requested topic, and that is golfer, businessman extraordinaire, Greg the Shark Norman.
Yeah. What a roller coaster that was.
Like-
That was a great fun report.
It actually was really fun, and we used to say that there were mini episodes, and sometimes people say, how long are they? This one went for an hour, and most of them do. So
Yeah,
if you want to get some bonus content any week and at the same time support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/dogoonpod. And anyone that does that. And we'll also put out the a little commentary of the David Letterman Spider-Man clip that we just put up. So
Yeah.
that's a bonus, just for fun.
It's
And
a
we're not-
bonus.
we're-
I would not say that is something that is worth you doing, especially
No,
but a fun
but
little
it's
tidbit
there.
bonus.
Yeah.
We're not far off reaching our next goal on Patreon, at which time we will be recording Phrasing the Bar,
Oh, yeah, right.
the podcast that we have promised for years now.
We go through the filmography of Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Fraser.
I'm-
I don't know how
I've
to,
never-
I don't know how to say his name.
I'm guessing we'll find
You'll
out.
find that on episode 1.
Fraser.
Fraser.
Yeah. Well, how close? We're getting close,
Yeah,
relatively.
relatively close.
Wow, relatively close.
Yeah.
What are we, cousins? All right. That's good stuff. And also the signal that we are, or at least
We gotta go.
am beyond. Hey.
You are beyond.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Jess. Can we turn on the dark? That means turn off the lights.
Oh,
No, Matt, then we just need to get out of the room and then we can go to our homes.
Oh, I just sit here in the dark normally.
Oh.
What are you? What?
Yeah, no,
I
us
assumed
two.
you were both there.
Us two, yep.
Is that why you don't immediately turn off the dark when I ask you to?
Turn off the dark.
Jess, Dave, one of you, please turn off the dark.
It's very
I can't
cute.
see in here. Please, and can I have $5? I've done a whoopsie. Need to buy new pants. And yes, it has been a good time. Yes, we've had fun, but all good things must come to an end. Please find us on Facebook and other social medias like Twitter and Instagram at, what's this one called? Do
At
Go On Pod.
Pod. At
What's this one
dogoonpod.com is the website. We own
And
that.
At Gmail is the Gmail.
Yes.
Send us an email. And merch is on the website. Buy
Yes.
t-shirts.
Come and do it.
T-shirts and pins. Lots of fun stuff. I think I'm going to put my Primates beanies on there too.
Great.
So if people want to do all their shopping in a one hot top spot.
Hot spot.
One-stop spot.
I really hope
One-stop spot.
Just wrap it up. Let's get the fuck out of
let's
here.
get
You're
out of
losing
here.
your mind.
Thanks, everybody. Until next week, I'll say thank you
One-stop shop.
Yes.
and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.
Turn off the dark.
This podcast is part of the